Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got Shopify Rebellion's BYUN in the top right side of the map, playing on Post Youth, up against Classic. In the bottom left side of the map, it's the semi-finals of the Wardy Summer Bash. I cannot believe it, guys. Wardy dropped a replay pack right after the tournament happened. Wow, amazing. It's been awesome to see. Wardy's been a busy guy and always drops quality replays, and I was very happy to see this replay pack drop. So gonna hop in here, cast some of the best matches from his tournaments recently and see if we've got some good ones. Now, BYUN vs Classic's an interesting match because Classic is, I would say, one of the great Protoss hopes in Korea, alongside Hero, and now Stats that he's back. Probably runs into in a lot of these big tournaments, as a lot of the players have. I always say BYUN and Cure. Basically, there's BYUN and Cure are not considered really contenders for winning any of the big events. They're going to get far, but they're almost never going to win them, right? No one really thinks they ever get, because they can't get past Serral and Raynor and Dark, right? So you got the three Zergs that always stop the Terrans at the very top. And this isn't like a balance thing beyond the top level. It's kind of like a player versus player thing. There maybe there's some balance extrapolations as well, but I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean that. So you think, well, okay, these Terrans aren't really top contenders, but then they always beat the Protoss players, Classic and Hero and stuff, always get eliminated by like Cure and BYUN, right? So you've got this kind of interesting thing where in the biggest tournaments it feels like the Terran hopes are dashed by the Zerg, the Protoss hopes are dashed by the Terran, and I guess the Zerg hopes are dashed by balance. Just kidding. Serral doesn't care about balance. He wins everything anyway. It's definitely one of those situations, right, where you do find yourself in an interesting scenario. And for me, I'm always cheering for the Protoss in these matches, in these tournaments. A little bit, just to kind of make it very competitive, but more importantly to see a new contender. For Hero, he's hot and cold. One day he'll crush these guys, the next day he'll throw games against them, making absurd decisions. Classic, though, is a bit more well-rounded, and I feel like when you get Classic kind of stitching things together, figuring out the right builds, finding what to do, and not getting like tricked or cheesed out, you kind of go, ooh, is he going to be the best Protoss player for the next few months? So that's part of what I got my eye on here. I'm quite sure Classic did qualify for the World Championship. It'd be kind of crazy if he didn't. But as I'm saying that, I'm realizing I really need to like refresh myself on the bracket for the World Championship, because there's always like one person I think is in there that somehow didn't get in, but it would be crazy if Classic wasn't. So don't even know why I'm asking that. 4-gate Blink? Wait. What is this build, guys? Why is Classic doing third base into 4-gate Blink? He must think this is a 3-racks. Oh, and I mean, it is a 4-racks, 3-racks with a factory but it's a third command center build. So I think Classic thinks there's something very aggressive coming here because he saw a pretty hefty Marine count, but BYUN's done a decent job of hiding that. Third command center off on the side. BYUN loves this build in this matchup these days. And he is someone was pointing out in my comments the other day, they're like, you say BYUN's, not really a late game guy. He's way better in late game than maybe you give him credit for. Like he's more of a late game guy these days. And I'm like, yeah, he definitely is more of a late game guy than he ever was. But he's still, I would say it's not his forte. I think he's still good he's great in the mid game. But definitely interesting to see him play so many of these 3 command center builds recently. He's kind of obsessed with them, and I guess maybe he was leaning into the aggression too much. The Protoss player started to be paranoid, play very safe, so he's kind of changed his style up to adapt to that. And he's so good at hunting down observers. That's kind of his main attribute. Now the Adept sees the starport timing. You might be thinking, oh, he doesn't know about the third command center. But if you see that starport timing, guys, you know there is a third command center finish. So Classic's gone up to a Robo Bay, +1 attack charge. 4 more gateways are on the way as well. So 8-gate charge on 3 gas. 4th gas goes up as well. He may be thinking about that gold base in the near future. Command center takes a few hits from the Stalkers, but without concussive shells, these Marauders aren't able to do that much. Gets himself a Marine. Oh, gets himself a Marauder as well, and for some reason blinks to the left, I guess to maintain high ground vision. Problem with pulling back this way is he can go left and you won't see him because you're on the low ground, so intelligent play there. Oh, 4th base on the left side. Okay, thankfully not taking the gold. The gold base on this map, guys, is the lottery, essentially. Now, if you guys like signing up for the lottery, gambling in general in the casino, thinking you're going to win money. No. It's for the fun of losing money. That's what it's the fun of losing money. That's the transaction you're valuing, much like taking this gold base. You're not going to get any value out of it unless you're already way ahead. It's a ridiculous base. Don't take it. Marine Marauders going to come forward right now. We've got the Vetavax behind it. Doesn't pop Guardian Shield. I kind of like the patience on the Guardian Shield for Classic. Doesn't pop it early. Double drop pickup. The Classic BYUN maneuver. Oh no, why is the Robo here? Oh no. Why would you put the Robo there? Oh, he gets a 6 around though. Classic gets a 6 around. Does recall. Guys, never build the Robo on the edge of the base. Always build it in a central location. That's so dangerous. Oh, the Stalker focus fire there for BYUN was lit. He killed like 3-4 Stalkers. Because of that, there was nothing to shoot down the medevac. So we can then, after killing the Stalkers, pick up and fly away. Now, for those who don't know, a Gateway has 1,000 hit points, a Nexus 1,500. Wait, 1,500? That says 2,000. Sorry, 2,000? Is it Nexus? Oh, Nexus is stronger than a Command Center and the other ones. I thought it was 1,500. Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, oh, nice force fields. Trapping a few units here for Classic. Point being, Robo only has 450, 450. It's only 900 total hit points. It is one of the most fragile structures. A factory or a starport is 1,250 or 1,300 hit points. You got to realize there's no armor on the shields as well until you get shield upgrades. So in general, the Robo is just one of the most fragile tech structures in the game, and it's so important. So it's kind of like a double whammy for Protoss. I think he's taking good enough fights that Classic's still in a good position now, but those Widow Mines could be scary. They're not burrowed, though. One of them goes down before it can fire. Oh my gosh, those Widow Mines! Oh my gosh, get out of here, Classic! Oh no, that was a little bit of an AFK fight, as I'd call it. An AFK fight is where you kind of can't believe you chose to commit. You take your hands off the keyboard, you step back away from the keyboard, AFK, away from keyboard, and you kind of just go, did I just do that? Oh, I don't think the start of the fight was that bad, but he needed to pull back very quickly. The moment those Widow Mines landed, it was like, okay, all your Zealots are gone. You've got to do something else. BYUN's just got the numbers. Even with limited healing, he feels confident. Oh, the Marauders are going to get the Colossus. Are they, though? Yes, they are. Oh, and he saves them all deep in the red. BYUN. Oh, my lord. Well, Classic's going to have to tap out there. That's unfortunate. I think Classic, that game was going perfectly, but the mixture of losing the Robo and then attacking that just basically made that game very, very rough. GG's. All right, that was a nice game one for BYUN. Nothing too fancy for him. Very straight up, very traditional stuff off of that 3cc, and that's kind of the perfect way you want it to go. But to be fair, Classic was playing a bit overly safe with the 4-gate blink, a bit slower into the Colossus. And even then, I think he was totally fine, but Robo on the right side and just getting over-eager and frustrated after that. Now, Classic has scouted for proxies. Hasn't found anything just yet. BYUN hasn't been proxying nearly as much in this matchup. I think you play against Max enough, and you proxy a Reaper like right outside his base, and you still don't kill a single probe, and you go, maybe proxying isn't that good. Maybe not. Probe's gonna come in here. SCV will fight it back. Command Center is going to go down with very limited blocking. I think what we're going to be looking at in this series from here now as... Oh, I hate this build. Oh, BYUN's doing an old school build, guys. He's going to go the Marauder Pressure. This build is atrocious, in my opinion. It's one of the worst openings of all time that occasionally just gets crazy value. Back in the 2K Atmospheres pool, a lot of people did this, BYUN especially. The idea being, like, if your opponent just sits at home with like a Stalker or two and they don't scout, this can be great, because you rock up with 2 Marauders and a Marine, kill the Stalkers, kill a bunch of probes, and it's also very safe, because it shuts down the enemy Adept, right? Problem, it delays your reactor massively. I mean, it's such a big delay on that reactor, which means your Marine production, your damage output kind of escalating just takes a long time. And that's what I really hate about this build. On the other hand, it does make at least the Protoss respect you a bit more. They often have to build a shield battery reactively, make an extra Stalker or two, keeps them a little bit more blind. And you can pair it up with some nice follow-ups. You know, I really like early aggressive, like, proxy Marauders with, like, Hellions rallying in with them. Just these kind of weird, cheesy Gumiho builds. But anyway, okay, yeah, Adept realizes, hey, I'm not going to kill anything. I might as well just go for the Marine. And the Marine very well microed there by BYUN. So BYUN gets himself an Adept kill, which is great. Shield battery goes down, as we talked about, and probably going to build another Stalker right after that one as well. We'll see, actually. A lot of players will still want to drop the second gateway here, but build a second gateway out front, can't get healed till it's done building. Adept comes in as well. Oh, I like that move. Very nice. And notice, guys, he's actually swapped his buildings over. That Adept could have run up and killed the SCV building on the tech lab. That SCV running away very nicely. He's going to have to commit a lot of micro if he wants to hunt that down. Widowmine, Starport, second barracks, and a reactor all building. There we go. Stalker with a battery, more than a match for this. The Marine goes flying, and oh gosh, you got to be careful. Don't go too far. It's okay. With the healing, he'll be fine. Adept does hunt down the SCV in the north. Units lost tab is pretty even for both sides. And I think this is absolutely okay. I don't think either player is stressed out right now. You get a pretty good idea of where your opponent's at. And the Adept actually gets back in here. Oh, this is annoying. The lack of production behind this. Luckily, the Widow Mine, you could see, guys, that Widow Mine was hidden behind the radar dish due to that StarCraft perspective. And that's a pretty handy cleanup since there wasn't going to be units out for a few more seconds at home. So it's going to be a little Widow Mine drop. Behind this, I would imagine we're going to see third barracks and then another tech lab in the near future. Yeah, because we want to get maybe a tank for safety, but especially just double Marauder production should be enough. Classic going for 4-gate blink. Oh, Classic's deciding to play a lot of 4-gate blink. Now, Classic is not a player I think of as being especially good at killing people with 4-gate blink. Like, Max is the best. Parting used to be the best. It's going to be interesting. Are you actually able to do this as Classic? Because if Classic drops this map, I feel like in this best of 5 semifinals, you're in such a bad position. But it all depends on if he lifts the factory. Oh, he's not even building a single safety tank. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. He's got a lot of Marauders. He's been building them, one at a time off there. He will be able to build more Marauders here. He might be able to stop it with the Marauders, but he's got to keep this bunker alive as long as possible. And if this Widow Mine drop can, do a bunch of damage, that'll be excellent. Third Nexus starts, so this is kind of the economic 4-gate blink, guys, not the super fast, super hard committed one. Remember, Parting used to blink into people's base with 10 Stalkers at 4 minutes 50. This one getting hit closer to 520. Widow Mines get in there. Oh, doesn't really get that much damage, just mining time, but hey, BYUN does not let them fire. BYUN, oh no, he's not repairing. Oh, the Stalkers block the repair. That was beautiful. Third volley takes down the bunker, and he does lose one Stalker only. Gets a Marauder, but Stims here, Stims here, Stims here. Blink and run, blink and run. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's trying to do some fancy prison micro as Classic. He's not as fast as some of those other Protoss players are when it comes to that, but he does still kill a lot of units. Meanwhile, Widow Mine drop in the back. Did he kill any probes here? Not a single probe, guys. Where are the Widow Mines? It looks like one's in the natural, must have fired on the gas. That one does get 4 probes, and the mine survives. Bunker's trying to rebuild. He's low on Marines and Marauders, though. This is the problem. Right now, without a tankier position, you're forced to go and stim into this. You need to pull SCVs BYUN. You cannot lose those Marauders. You need SCVs to tank. Yeah, it's really important to tank. Marines are getting shot down as well. Remember, the Marines don't have combat shields. Good Stalker micro for Classic. Classic's getting great value. That Widow Mine drop is still hanging in the top left corner of the map. Remember, every time your stim runs out, he can chase you down a little bit. Very scary moment. Bunker's still 15 seconds from finishing. 2 Marauders, 2 Marines building at a time. Combat shield's not quite there yet. Medevac micro for BYUN, desperately trying to keep him alive. He needs to pull SCVs. You can lose like 10 SCVs and be okay. You can't lose your Marauders. BYUN is playing so greedy right now, guys. Widow Mine drop does come in. Looks like it ain't going to kill too much. Does get a shot. Kills 3 probes. Not too bad. The SCVs need to fight. BYUN not really microing at home right now. He's going to stim these Marauders again. It's 4 Marauders only, though. Dude, the SCVs are running thin. The SCVs are running thin. You have to get out of here. He needs to pull more SCVs. BYUN can be way down in workers and fine, but he has to make sure he keeps his firepower, his damage, his Marauders alive. He's only on 6 Marauders. If he loses 2 or 3 more of those, he's against 14 Stalkers. BYUN is treating this with disregard. He pulls the SCVs this time. That's a little bit better. Nice pickup to dodge the first Stalker volley as well. But so many SCVs are falling every time he has to pull these. It doesn't feel good. Without a tank to anchor his position, or multiple tanks is really what he needs, it's going to be very hard to hang on. He does not have the factory on a tech lab, so instead he's doubling down on the Marauder Medevac Marine production, which it does feel like should be able to get out microed by Classic. Classic with a dangerous blink. He doesn't even know where the Marauders are. They could have stimmed right on top of him, but he goes for the blink anyway. Classic is just going for broke. He feels like he has the edge, and he wants to push it now. The Stalker's blinking back to the low ground. They're still fighting down there. The Stalker's fighting on the ledge. Oh my god, Classic! No! Classic, he had this in the bag! The Widow Mine drop came in. Looks like he was busy microing at home. Finally, the Medevac goes down. The blink to the low ground. You could tell Classic blinked to the low ground and then looked at home and thought, cool, I'm disengaged. But then he kept fighting along the edge, and he took so many Stalker losses. That was totally unnecessary. 5 Marauders for 20 Stalkers. Classic was in a game-winning position. He's still up 23 workers with a third base up. I mean, he doesn't actually need to keep doing damage. He just needs to delay BYUN's counter push now. He's still in a winning position. It's just not as winning as it was. BYUN's got +1, stim, shields, concussive. Good cancel on the warp in. Good blink back. Marauders don't shoot up, remember, guys. And there we go. Nice save on that one. The Stalkers should be blinking away as well. Good pickups with the Medivacs to dodge these Stalker shots whenever he can. He's going to get one more Stalker by the looks of it, and indeed he does. What do we got at home? Sentry, Zealots, Shield Battery building, Battery on the Natural, Immortal coming in. The Immortal's going to be so big, and these units are so overstimmed. BYUN, he's got to just kind of take refuge on the high ground for now, hold this position, let the Medivacs heal him up. But those Medivacs are dry right now, guys. Forgot to wear his wetsuit. He's dry right now, man. And needs to take himself a minute to get some more juices flowing in those Medivacs. +1 armor's on the way. On the other hand, we've got Robo Bay. Forge upgrades now starting for Classic. Classic's on 8 gates. 8 gates. He's forgot to make charge, though. That's kind of a big one, guys. He does not realize he forgot to make charge. Classic. Look at your army. Those are clearly slow Zealots, bro. Classic. Classic. He realizes, okay, charge does start up. BYUN is going to do what BYUN does, guys, which is pick up his whole army, fly through the middle of the map, and try to drop on top of your base. Classic does not have charge just yet. It's a 14 Zealot army. It's mostly Zealots. It's 10 Stalkers, 1 Immortal, 2 Sentries. This drop could be really hard to deal with. Classic's in trouble right now. He does recall this army. To be fair, we probably should pick up and leave. He's going to stand and fight. BYUN being a crazy person right now. Just standing and fighting in a corner. I mean, the Zealots aren't really doing much, but Battery Overcharge is now part of it as well. The Stalkers with the Battery Overcharge. Remember, there's no Medivac juice left. There's not much healing. He does pick up and saves most of these units. 3 Medivacs getting out full, but, of course, way behind on income. Got 9 probes, though. He's at 42 workers against 51. He's on 5 racks. Problem is, he's kind of all in. So he just traded army for partially economy, and he's still behind in economy. So the thing is, actually, as BYUN, you wouldn't mind losing your workers right now. But you need to keep your army alive. You need to, like, get an army advantage and win with it. Because you don't have a 3rd command center started, which means, you know, you're in a really tough position. Zealot drop does get pushed away over there. We've got the first Colossus coming out right now. Robo, once again, in my opinion, in a terrible position. Very exposed. Even building it anywhere in the natural I dislike. I really prefer Robo in the main. I think this is just one of those things where you can look at it and go, it's nice to have Robo units popping next to a fight. But I think the habitual placement of the Robo in the natural, I would basically... I'm pretty confident that it loses Protosses more games than it, like, the faster rally of 5 seconds of a Colossus wins them games. Like, I would wager a lot of money on this. Someone was, you know, if we had some magic way of finding out those stats, which obviously we don't, because there's too many variables to run, you know, I would bet $1,000 instantly. Instantly. I'd just be like, bam, let's go. Because it's one of those things Protoss players like to have that faster rally, but the number of times those Robos get sniped, man. Stalker's blinking back. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus hanging out. Marine Marauder coming forward. SCV pull. Completely all it is BYUN. He's looking desperate. The Colossus. No battery overcharge used just yet. He's going to use it on the back one. Nice. Nice usage. The Colossus roasting the SCVs. The Zealots charge forwards. Classic's micro is delicious here. That left flank is crumbling, though. That left flank is crumbling. Damn, where did all that bio come from? Was that the Doom drop from before? Did that come in late? Feel like those guys came in a little bit late on this. GG, well played. Classic gets himself a nice victory to tie up the series. All right, Classic fighting back there. Now going on to Alcyon. Gonna go for the gateway gas. Did he just scout for a proxy barracks back here? Man, scouting for everything. Classic does not want to be surprised by any sneaky BS. Likes to play safe here, whilst BYUN, a man who likes to just not scout pretty much ever. This is his favorite way to play. Pig, what is your preferred way of eating a meat pie? There is a right and a wrong answer. I'm with you on that, Senzu. You're Aussie, Senzu? Because who are you to judge me if you're not Aussie? Or I guess a Brit can probably judge me as well. Anyways, the correct way to eat a meat pie is you eat it with a teaspoon, you cut the lid off, you open it up, because otherwise it's going to be way too hot, you're going to burn your mouth. I mean, if you've bought one out and about, you're not eating it at home, it's different, right? You can just have to kind of like bite it and blow on it and burn your mouth and be like, it's like really awkward. But if you're eating it at home, you cut the lid off, you open that up, and then you scoop some of the insides out onto the lid, and then you basically eat it like that. If it's a very simple meat pie, you chuck some sauce on there as well. If it's a cheap pie. If it's a fancy like steak, you know, stew pie with like wine in it and caramelized onions, you don't add any sauce, right? It's already a delicious beef stew. If it's a cheap beef pie, you know, a really cheap meat pie with like probably cow hoof in it and mystery meat, yeah, you chuck a bunch of tomato sauce in there, right? So you put a tomato sauce in the lid, you eat the lid first, and then you can kind of stir around the meat inside the leftover bottom bit of the pie to like help it cool down a bit. And by the time you finish eating the top, it should be perfect temperature that you can eat the bottom as well. And because you've scooped a little bit of the filling out as well, that allows them both to cool down at the same time, and it allows the exact perfect ratio of pie to crust on both sides. It is fantastic. If you guys want, you're like, oh, it sounds stupid. Zombie Grub came to Australia. She found out all about pies. She loved them. She said pies are fantastic. I love pies. I wish we had more pies in America. That whole meat pie thing you guys have is awesome. And I was like, yeah, because she has good taste. She knows. Oh, good catch. This is a good catch, guys. So Classic managed to get it. So we've got a Twilight Council coming up there as well. And we've got a Stalker on the way as well. Why does this pie break the fork rule? I don't even know what the fork rule is. Are we going third CC? No, it's oh, this is the 4 Cyclone opening. Oh, I hate this build for BYUN. But if you catch 2 Adepts, it's really worth it. Oh, he's not going to kill this one, but he'll do a bit of damage to it. That's pretty good, man. So 4 Cyclone opening. It's not my favorite opening, but if your opponent's gone 2 Adapts, it's actually got a lot of potential. And gonna build a Robo, a Gateway. We might, yeah, battery's not gonna be ready, but on the other hand, I think with probe pool potential, we cancelled the Stalker building because Warp Gate was done. Classic's gonna build a Gateway to wall off. That Robo is a little exposed, but very hard to kill it with only 1 unit. And this Adept does see these 2 Cyclones, which will shut it down. Gonna get a bit of damage on the SCV, but won't be able to kill it, of course. And these Cyclones need to get out of there. BYUN, run, run, run. He's going to try and keep back these Stalkers. Oh, he turns around for a lock-on. Very greedy play by BYUN. And doesn't quite get the Stalker due to the battery healing. Fantastic defense there by Classic. Classic's looking really good. And the 3rd Command Center does go down, actually. Sorry, guys. I was like, oh, this is not a 3rd Command Center version. It is. I feel like when they go 4 Cyclones, I don't really expect to see the 3rd Command Center behind it. But BYUN is obsessed with this. I definitely am highly critical of BYUN's TvP. I think BYUN's TvP was much scarier before this map pool and this season when he didn't go 3rd CC so much. He goes 3rd Command Center way too often now. I don't think it's enough of a surprise. It worked great in Game 1. I understand he's gone back to what worked in Game 1. I just feel like he does this too much. And I think when you play against Cyclones, it's one of the things you're thinking of. It's one of the things you're a little worried about. So it is going to be a 4-gate blink once again. Classic. Now, speaking of being predictable, Classic is kind of doing the same thing over and over, but maybe that's part of his strategy is you wouldn't expect me to do the same thing 3 times in a row. You know, we might see one of these. Sometimes you get this where 2 players are like, yeah, you think I'm going to change it up every game, right? And the meta move, the surprising move to play the meta game, catch your opponent off a little is actually just to keep doing the same thing. Doesn't work long term. We should not be seeing it in Game 4 and Game 5. But Game 3, I'm okay with it. Oh, he's going to blink forward. Oh my gosh, the mass repair, not good enough. But that's a lot of dead Stalkers. It's a lot of dead Stalkers. Oh my lord. The bunker doesn't even die, guys. Classic just went on a trip. Free tickets actually delivered to his house express post by BYUN. And he will be on his way to town for probes for the Cyclone as well. Just runs a Cyclone in the front. Dude, that's devastating. I was wondering about that tank position. I was like, that tank seems kind of silly. And then the moment Classic blinked in, I was like, well, that tank apparently was perfectly placed. He kind of almost knew like Classic was going to take the bait there, blink on the bunker, and punished him for it. Hardcore. Very well played. I think part of this was Classic sees 4 Cyclones. He's thinking, well, you spent so long building Cyclones, you're going to be just building Marines and Marauders now. You won't want to be building tanks because you spent all your factory production time on other stuff. He's still all in. Classic's pretty much all in. He's going mass Stalker attack, guys. This is a crazy choice. Okay, can get down there. Oh, the Command Center. The Command Center. He has to pull everything. BYUN has to pull everything to defend right now because that Command Center is exposed in the corner. The Cyclone's starting to get picked up, but the Marauders are doing so much damage. Oh, my lord. How many Stalkers has he lost? 10. Remember, Stalkers are very expensive units, guys. Sorry, I'll keep that units lost tab up so you can see those for just a few more seconds before we get into the next round. Charges on the way. Probes have started up. Robo Bay as well. Classic's going to keep poking around, but with the tank and the bunker there, going to be hard to get too much damage. He's not willing to blink in this time, and BYUN is willing to give up the bunker. BYUN being very paranoid right now, obviously suffering against the 4-gate blink in some of the other games. Stalker's coming south. Ooh. Here we go, guys. Probes getting pumped on out. We've got lots of gateways there as well. 8 gateways. Can Classic recover from here? It felt like such a bad start, but going 5 barracks seems, you know, seems to make sense. You've got 3 command centers. I just think BYUN needs to move out right now. 2 more SCVs do go down. 3rd one as well. Classic's doing a good job with this harassment. Still feels like when the fight actually happens, the Marauders, the Marines, the Medevacs will be quite scary, but little starved for the gases BYUN. He's got 4 gases mining, lots of mules down, lots of depots building. The 4th Nexus coming down early could be a really good boon for Classic. Because remember, that main base is about to start running out. He's already lost 2 mineral patches, or 1 in the middle. This one's about to run out, that one's about to run out, that one's about to run out. 8 to 9 minutes is when you lose half the mineral patches in your main. So by having that 4th base come up now, you can transfer the workers down here, keep up your efficiency. Meanwhile, of course, BYUN is definitely not going to be able to get that 4th up. Now, he's kind of intermittent on his worker production. He does scan, kills the observer. It always feels like you're just so stuck at home for so long with this style for BYUN. I mean, he's finally moving out now, but there's already a Colossus and a Sentry on the map. A couple of batteries going down. This is my big problem with this style is like that yeah, you can have the Protoss throw away 12 Stalkers for very little value, and you still just end up taking forever to actually get out there and exert map control. I love the old 3-rack styles with a Raven, a tank, a faster stim, and shields. They've fallen out of favor at the moment, and I do like that these builds are in the mix. I just think they're being used a little more frequently than I would personally enjoy from guys like BYUN. Oh, that's a fresh mule and an SCV going down. Dude, even more SCVs. BYUN, oh my gosh, his whole army's coming home. Okay, he does come up with these guys as well. Gets inside the bunker. Marines are there. Careful. Classic, what are we doing? Oh no, Classic. That was a very odd bit of micro there. I thought he'd just click it away, but kind of assumed that BYUN was no longer on his side of on BYUN's side of the map. He thought BYUN's army was still forward there. 4th base on the right side. We've got a Forge coming up. Forge is almost finished. That's the 2nd Forge, actually. So we're going to be seeing 2-1 upgrades in the near future. Very nice. They both start up at 9 minutes 30. Armory almost done for BYUN. His 2nd engineering bay is there, so he's ready to start 2-2. Can maintain the upgrade advantage. And Classic, staying active with the Zealots. The question is, what's your late game? Because Classic's like, you know, he's established the 4-base income, but he's only on 66 probes, going up to 70 now. Adds a 2nd Robo. We see Sanded Disruptor play. A Disruptor started, it immediately got cancelled, and he built a Warp Prism. So, and he's going to take a 5th base on the gold. Okay, I don't know, man. If you can hold this middle area, that gold base will pay off, but that is a big if. 4th Command Center finishes for BYUN as I say it. Okay, Ghost Academy's on the way. Sensor Tower, Cyclone's up there dancing around, getting a little bit of map vision. The Observer will see it coming. We should be seeing Classic stomp that Cyclone down. BYUN's happy to clear the supply. 2-2 weapons upgrades and armor on the way for Bio. Ship weapons. 8 barracks coming down. You can see the factory swapping off, and a 2nd starport is going to be building on that reactor. So BYUN's getting ready for either Quad Viking or the Liberator transition. One thing I really wish more Terrans would do is go for an earlier fusion core and start making that medevac energy upgrade. Oh, he's setting up a Zealot flank. So if BYUN pushes forward there's going to be Zealots flanking the tanks on the Watchtower. I really like that setup. Zealots on the left side getting cleaned up. Units, the lost tab is 1,500 resources in favor. He's going for it. Oh, this is too early. There's no way this works. This is badly timed for Classic. This is not going to work out very well, I don't think. Oh my... Is it, though? Actually, the tanks do go down. As sloppy as the start of the fight is, it seems like maybe it's kind of okay. Stalkers on the left flank getting crumbled. Stalkers on the left flank getting crumbled. Gotta be careful. Disruptors go forward. Does take out a bunch of the Marauders and Marines. Dude, Classic's actually clearing this. Wow. Fighting with +1 attack against 1-1 upgrades. Clears the middle Watchtower with the Zealots coming in from multiple sides. It was a close fight, but I think it ends up favoring Classic as his Colossus are still alive. Did he even lose one? Doesn't even lose a Colossus. He only loses a Disruptor. 3rd Command Center has to lift off. If you lose that, that's a big problem. There's more Stalkers coming in. Oh my gosh, he's got to defend it. The Command Center is almost dead. The Command Center is going to go down. Classic should just click on that, and he does. The Command Center goes down on the 3rd. BYUN does not have the numbers, and wow, Classic right back into this game. Even though that first Stalker dive was not good for him at all, he kept up the pressure. He actually got a decent number of SCVs, and he macroed very well behind it. So Classic seems to be basically saying, hey, 4-gate blink is a solid opening, keeps me safe, allows me to apply pressure. In no game has BYUN slapped the 4-gate blink down, and that might be a problem for him. That might be something where long-term in this series, we're thinking, dude, like you gotta shut down the 4-gate blink next game. Classic's doing it 3 games in a row, and Even the game he lost, it wasn't really the 4-gate blink that lost him the game. 3-2 upgrades coming in as well. Templar Archives is done. Classics on 78 workers against 68. But more importantly, 5 bases against 3. Long distance SCV mining on this base is super awkward. BYUN's like not lifting his main down because he doesn't have enough gas. He's just building another command center right now in the main, ready to float down. Oh, awkward. All right, so we've got Ghosts there. We've got Marines, Marauders. There are 8 Vikings, which could deal with this. He stims down the ramp a little bit. Here we go. Disruptor comes forward. He sends it back because the Zealots are a bit too far forward. 1 Colossus falls to the Vikings. The Stalker's doing pretty well. That Observer gives a lot of vision advantage here. 2 Classic blinking forward. Yes, the Colossus are gone, but there's so much Zealot Stalker, it might not matter. Hold that thought. 1 Colossus does survive, actually. Great pickup with the Speed Prism there. I love seeing that speed upgrade on the Warp Prism. The Disruptor's there. It's reloaded. The Disruptor's ready to fire. He's going to fire that one out. Will get himself a Marauder. The Colossus goes down. Warp Prism warping in more Zealots. 2 Vikings starting to shell on that Warp Prism. He needs to focus fire the Viking if he wants to keep it alive. But no, the Viking does take out the Warp Prism. It doesn't matter, though, because the Zealots are cleansing the Marauders and the SCVs. Upgrade advantage, be damned. BYUN's only had 1 armor upgrade. That's not that important. And it looks like Classic just has the numbers to be able to cascade forward and overwhelm this situation. I like how it keeps being 1 Marauder, 1 Zealot for a lot of these Disruptor kills. Look at that. 5th base saturated. You can see the Naturals half transitioned as well, transferred out. It's got this new 6th base on the right side. 2 Colossi building at a time. BYUN's going to float this new command center down, but the units lost trading tells us, yeah, you were ahead 1,500 resources very early in this game. Now you're only ahead 1,000 resources. So you've actually lost efficiency. Protoss has been more efficient than BYUN in these mid-game battles. It's just a numbers issue. Felt like BYUN just didn't quite have the numbers, and maybe a few misstarts on these fights. Like some of his units kind of walked down the ramp on this left side into the Colossus fire before he was really ready. Disruptor shot comes out. Doesn't quite get the Ghost. That Classic's just playing straight up. Very standard sort of middle stage game. It's the sort of style where I always worry about Classic style if the Terran does go to range libs. You know, if the game goes a few minutes longer, it feels like the army starts to fall off. But he fought right when his army was strong, when there wasn't a critical mass of EMPs, Vikings, when the Zealot Stalker count still kind of could overwhelm because the Terran wasn't maxed just yet. And look at the supply now. 40 army supply lead, Stalkers blinking forward, Zealots are charging, they are YOLOing in, overwhelming, and BYUN does not have the numbers to hold this back. Classic showing an impressive display of PvT, and what I love about Classic is it just looks like there's nothing special about it, right? He's doing 4-gate blink, but it doesn't look like there's anything, any one particular attribute that's like overwhelming. Classic truly is like the hard-working Protoss who can cheese, he can macro, he can play standard. He doesn't have any one stat that's better than the others. He just is flexible and he knows how to win. Up 2-1. He only needs 1 more game to finish it off. Classic in the bottom right side of the map for Twisted Minds. BYUN on the top left for Shopify Rebellion. Let's see how it goes. Classic checks for proxies on his way across the map. Look at this path he took, guys. He went all the way around here. He did like a little zigzag. He was trying to basically do the Twisted Minds logo across the map as his scouting pattern. He's like, yeah, this is my scouting pattern. That's how patriotic I am about my team, you know? Let's go. Gets in there, harasses an SCV, but BYUN has a second one down, so he's totally fine. Now, BYUN does build Marine first, which allows him to build a very quick factory. Since he didn't spend 50 gas on the Reaper, Marine will hide on the high ground to not give it away. And we are going to be seeing a no doubt Twilight Council. Question, ladies and gentlemen, do we see 4-gate blink? BYUN loves to go 3 command center on this map. I can't imagine he does it this time. He does go second gas nice and early. If he goes Cyclones again, I will be very disappointed because we have a high ground ramp advantage here. Number 1. Number 2, you've played 3CC of Cyclones multiple times this series. I really want to see a change up. I'd like to see, probably from BYUN, I think what I'd like to see is like single tank plus Raven, just into nice quick 3 racks. Like, you know, you can open up maybe with like a 2 mine pressure if you want. Personally, I think 2 mine pressure is a little overused. You know what we don't see very much anymore, guys? Marine drop plus Hellion run by. Probably for good reason. Probably doesn't work that well versus the top pros. But I don't know. I feel like the quick 7-8 Marine drop in the main, the 3 Hellions running in the natural still has a lot of utility. It's just, it's so underused that I feel like it's probably good because no one will expect it. Don't want to use it too much. Could be something that could get mixed in there though. Widow Mine drop for me just feels a little underwhelming. Doesn't feel like the stronger strategy if the Protoss isn't distracted. And I guess maybe that's its whole goal, is it is just a distraction. That's the whole reason to do it. That Widowmine is there. Oh, almost stayed a little too long. And unburrow. Oh, okay, actually, Classic mistimed that, guys. Classic was hoping to dodge the Widowmine shot there, messes it up, and ends up getting a Marine for an Adept, as well as having his Stalker damage, which is, of course, not a good trade. As long as BYUN burrows this, the other Stalkers cannot run in. Classic's pressure stopped in its tracks as he goes up to 3-gate Blink Robo. I'd love to see Classic just take a third base here. He's already got a probe there. That Widowmine does secure the ramp control. And we've got, 6 Marine, 1 Mine Drop moving across the map. These Stalkers move north and spot that. Get a few hits on it. It can shut this down. That is a big if, though. I remember a few years ago, I was playing a lot of Blink openings. And my whole play was always to try and spread Stalkers around the map and intercept that first medevac. Because I felt like if you could get a few hits on that first medevac, it would just kind of shut this pressure down. But, right, probe sees it. Medevac immediately reroutes. And the Stalkers miss it. Uh-oh, Classic better pull back to a central position because you don't know where that medevac is. You just can't keep up with it. Cloaked Banshee coming in behind it. Kind of clever way of disguising this behind the early medevac pressure. If you go straight for Banshee, it's kind of hard to hide, but if you're keeping your opponent busy with a drop, the Observer becomes the last thing on their mind. Yeah, I was about to say, if you keep driving into that base, that is going to be Maru versus SOS in 2018 BlizzCon levels of silliness. Maru is doing a 1-base drop. He sees like 5 Stalkers on the edge and he just boosts his medevac straight at it. And we're like, Ooh, nice Widowmine hit. That was actually really cute by BYUN. Get some good damage there. Is this the first tank or the second, guys? First tank's out. As long as he builds a second one, I think BYUN should be okay here, especially with that Banshee coming in at the same time. Second tank does start up. Bunker starts on the natural as well. BYUN's cutting it pretty fine. I mean, these Stalkers could already be here. But I think he realizes, hey, like, you have to leave Stalkers at home for this drop by Banshees arriving at the same time. And actually, that Widowmine's going to get a Stalker, which is great. Is it, though? I changed targets there, realizing Blink was finished. Stalkers on the front, not going to be able to pressure at the same time. Banshee comes in the right side, starts to pick off those probes. Probes are pulled away. Meanwhile, in the main base, looks like that medevac goes down. Marines are going to kill a Stalker. Not bad. And BYUN's going to get a second Stalker. Oh, my. Stalkers blink across the gap. They managed to take out a tank, but this takes a lot of micro. If you're not looking at it, these Stalkers are going to die. This Prism could go down as well. And this is just very awkward. Another Stalker does fall. Meanwhile, those Marines killing so many workers along with the Banshee. Banshee's going to kill that Stalker as well. Super valuable, but oh, it does blink away. And Banshee will finish it off. 13 probes going down. Banshee still alive. Could grab that one as it comes out of the gas. And indeed we do. Observer is a bit too slow to the party. The Banshee's going to escape. Classic is going to tap out. He just got absolutely rinsed by that Banshee pressure. A bit too eager to do the 3-gate pressure. If you're playing a third Nexus, I think there's a very valid rule that a lot of more conservative players like Stats might play here, where they would always build an Observer before the Warp Prism. Because it gives you vision of what's going on. You'd see the Starport probably on the Tech Lab still, seeing the second Banshee pop out, and you'd immediately go, oh crap, reset, get defensive. But because Classic just had no info, was so focused on being aggressive, and it wasn't that committed in aggression. If it was 4-gate Blink, maybe you can blink in and straight up win the game with Stalker Micro, but with 3-gate Blink, there's just no way to do that. We're going to game 5. All right. Classic now in game 5 in the top left side of the map. BYUN in the bottom left. What builds come out in the... What? Guys, that's his first pylon. What is this? And why is BYUN here? Oh my god. Okay. Proxy barracks against proxy gateway. Oh god. Oh gee, Rick. Oh gosh. Are we going 2-gate? It's 2-gate. 2-gate Zealot? No? We're gonna take a, but no gas. Huh? 2-gate into gas? Wowzers, we're going to be rushing with early Stalkers and Adepts, and they're like, no, we're pulling back. We didn't see that barracks, guys. We're just going back to build the Cybercore here. We have a pylon at home. Damn, dude, this is going to get weird. So this is just a big rush. Now, remember, you would never do this against Kure or Maru because they SCV scout a fair amount of the time. BYUN never SCV scouts, literally like 1 in 8 games at most. He's such a low percentage of games where he SCV scouts, and this is one of the games where he's doing it. Specifically because he probably wants to build a bunker, right? Probably wants to build a bunker for his Reapers. The only time BYUN scouts with an SCV is when he happens to be walking into your base to build a bunker and then sees that you don't have a Nexus. We've got a Zealot building here. Cybercore is on the way at home. SCV comes in, he's like, oh, What? No. Oh, good. Thankfully for BYUN, he went double gas. So he's got a factory coming up in his wall off. If he can get some cyclones out of that, that'll be big. Thing is, he can't really build marines from here because they'll get caught on the way home. We've already got 2 zealots out, guys. A zealot and another zealot. Problem for Classic, he doesn't know that he's been scouted. He's coming down to block the Reaper from jumping in. And look, he's going to block it at the last second. So he waits for the Reaper to... Classic! He wasn't watching. His whole plan was to build a pylon there to block the Reaper jumping up. So the Reaper would run into the corner and then have to run around. No, Classic! With a 300 IQ move executed like a baboon. Oh, unfortunate. Bit of a mistake for him. Oh, clever move, but a bit of a fail. He wasn't expecting the Reaper this early because this Reaper was just so much earlier than normal because the proxy 2 probes have already gone down. He's going to get a 3rd one as well. Oh, BYUN, you nasty boy. You nasty boy, you. But the Zealots are working on the depots on the other side. SCV gets caught on the way home. Stalker taking out the SCV. He's going to go for the ones that are repairing. Reaper behind the wall off as well. Changes targets there. Stalkers do take out another SCV. Think the Reaper has not died. Reaper's coming back right now. Cyclone's almost out. If the Cyclone comes out, that's going to be a very big problem. Reaper goes down, which is a nice catch. But as the Cyclone ejects, it's going to start just peeling these units away. Good repair. Repairs the weak SCV. Cyclone plus the Reaper in the bunker should be enough to defend. Another Reaper does come out. This one is going to chill. The barracks is floating back. It's being held. It's being held, and a massive advantage for BYUN. 23 SCVs against just 20 for Classic. Classic has not started the Nexus. Classic, basically, his whole plan now is, in my opinion, his best plan, and it's not a good plan, is start building Stalkers non-stop, and then hope that BYUN's dumb enough to move down his ramp. You can see where my IQ's at in this matchup. I have 6 IQ. Oh, he went for the Nexus, but he got denied! Oh, no! This is such a disaster of a final game, guys. Getting to the semifinals all this way is Classic, and now... I mean, he doesn't block the first Reaper, gets 3 probes. Second time a Reaper comes in and obviously negates this. The fact that BYUN chose to proxy here also perfect for this map. I mean, to be fair, his command center has just started. If the Nexus was on the way, you could absolutely transition, but without a Nexus, you're so screwed. He's trying to go Stargate is Classic, and the Reaper sees it it's not cancelled, and is like, okay. Latest Stargate of all time, no worries. Oh, so I think Classic wants to play Phoenix Colossus. It's too late, though. As Classic, you have to cancel that Stargate right now. Cancel that Stargate, and you need to play one of the most all-in gimmicky styles of all time. Like, you gotta be, like, super gambly. Reaper's still alive, still seeing everything that's going on, even confirming it's Phoenix. Oh. This is a bad start for Classic. I would love a 3rd base. I actually feel like even earlier, he should have pulled workers off gas to oversaturate his minerals. And I really feel like immediate 3rd base kind of... But he's got Phoenix. You can't go 3rd base with just Phoenix and Gateway units. Oh, wait. Hold this thought. Hold the thought. 7 Stalkers, one Phoenix. If he can pick up the tank, right? And then he can run in and kill the Cyclones with the Stalkers. If he spreads a unit in front to take the first shot, like the Zealot... Don't go in the clump. Don't go in the clump. Get the Zealot in front. Zealot in front. Zealot in front. Here we go. Zealot takes the first shot. Stalker's coming in right now. The tank's going to go down really quickly. Already tank goes down. Cyclone goes down. Stalkers can out-micro this, but another second tank does come out, and that's an issue. Does go for the Cyclone there. He's going to lose another Stalker. Extra Phoenix comes in, but it dies almost immediately. Bit of sloppy micro there for Classic. And what looked like maybe an opportunity ends up finding himself not as enough damage. Needs a little bit more than that. And yeah, he's only on 26 workers against 29, not building probes right now. Classic feels like he's all in. He goes for the Cyclone, does get it. Gets it, but loses 2 Stalkers for it. 3rd one almost goes down in the back. These aren't good trades for him. Oh, and he stumbles into tank fight again. Oh, my lord. I'm right now in my head seeing Eddie Murphy imitating his, was it like his auntie falling down the stairs or something? I feel like that's Classic right now. I can like hear the sounds of his body crunching on each as he rolls and bangs and bam, and you know I can hear the bones crunching. It's terrible, man. It's Classic is getting absolutely mauled in this 5th game. It's almost like you cannot see the range on the tank as Protoss. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you can see the tank, you can click on your enemy's tanks, I believe. Actually, can you click on your opponent's units in-game when you're playing to see the range, if they're in vision? I'm not sure if you can or not. But either way, hitting the command center there, he should have just backed off and given up on it. It's not something, you know. We don't just get magic range indicators of where our opponents can shoot. It is StarCraft. It's a hard game. Starport's coming up right now. This is so conservative. I love this. He's even built turrets, guys. So think about this from BYUN's point of view. He's going, when behind Dark Shrine, so my opponent might go DTs, turrets. He might also drop me, which is why he left those Marines and Cyclones in the main. So he's basically just in this mindset right now of like, I know you're going to do some silly BS. Also, I did see a Stargate, so Oracle could come in. That's not going to do anything to me. You know, what are you going to do? I got a turret, I got a few Marines. I've got my 3 racks building. I've got 2 bases full of workers. Stim, shields, both coming in. Concussive is already queued up. I wouldn't be surprised to see BYUN right now. Oh, the Cyclone almost kills the Oracle as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd command center go down, but he could easily just build it on location as he's moving across the map. And first order priority is get rid of these gateways, right? If you get rid of these gateways, that in itself is half of your opponent's production removed from the map. He's building his first Colossus. He's still building Phoenix. But Stalkers do clean up the first Marine spotter. Did the Marines see the gateway? Still doesn't know about the gateways. This is why Classic's trying to maintain so much map presence. He's like, just stop BYUN scouting the fact that I have those gateways there. Maybe I could make a few sentries off them and keep warping in for the meantime. Phoenix and Oracle do see an attempted move out there. BYUN and picking up and flying into his opponent's units. Name a more iconic duo. Dark and disgusting comebacks, Rainer and Italian rap music, and sterile and understated interviews. There's a few. Answering my own quiz there. 4th and 5th barracks coming in. Double drop picks up as the Phoenix arrive once again. 2nd Colossus is on the way. How do you bring this back as Classic, guys? Well, you're on 2 base making Colossus. You need to secure a 3rd. That's a smart... I was going to say, well, you can't really secure a 3rd. So he's like, hidden base, question mark? I mean, he's like, maybe I get away. Like, you have to go for broke. I think maybe even the bottom right might have been the best play here. Because I feel like BYUN's more likely to expand to like this 4th, this 5th, this 6th. Kind of expanding on the left and middle side of the map rather than that right side. As I say that, though... Oh, no. Is this SCV going to see it, guys? Is he going to see it? I don't think he will, actually. He's going to hug the rock for a little... Oh, he's licking the rock. Hello. Guess there's salt on it. Like a cow. It's found a salt rock, the SCV. 3 probes, pylon, depowers Viagra just before it finishes. Phoenix coming in. Can we get one? Oracle turns on the laser. Does lose to those Marines as they unload. 1 of the medevacs goes down. 2 medevacs for an Oracle and a Phoenix and a few Marines. It's normally not a bad trade, but because Classic is so far behind... Anything that even approximates an even trade looks terrible. And oh, Classic's gonna have his heart sink. Sees the SCV, cancels the Nexus, and is like, okay, I'll mine these minerals open and take this one. But he is down so far in the supply. I would go Storm. Fleet Beacon's not... No, Fleet Beacon's very stupid. I understand that carriers can get you back in the game. Storm is like the best value here, potential. I think if you go Storm... That's probably the best, especially with like Prism Micro to pick up and drop. I understand the thought process, but you're already so far behind on ground units. You need more things to deal with bio. So he's going to keep building Phoenix here, air weapons. There's no good gamble. So I know I'm being a little critical, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like when you're sub 100 supply going Fleet Beacon, it's like, what are we going to get? Tempests? Definitely not going to have enough value, enough damage. Phoenix range? No. That's what you do when you're ahead. I think if you have a good start, Phoenix range Phoenix into carriers off of a single robo is a good build. I think when you're behind, it's an appallingly bad build. I don't like this at all. Maybe there's an argument behind it. And I'm trying to think of why. I honestly just think Classic's just doing his game plan that he had for this map. I don't think there's any good game plans here. I think there's just varying degrees of bad. And I just think this is a little more bad than some of the other plans, basically. I think, you know, Storm's a bad plan, but it's probably the best bad plan right now. Phoenix picking up SCVs multiple times here. Very nice harassment. But you got to get out. Don't lose any. Oh, he's going to try and fight the Vikings. Uh-oh. Phoenix for a Viking is not too bad, but as long as you just trade 1 for 1, that's going to favor BYUN. 1 for 1 favors BYUN. That's the saying, guys. Fourth command center's on the way. Mass Marine Marauder. He's got a lot of tanks, Ghosts, and Vikings coming out. The Phoenix will get out of there. Still building Colossus right now. Now, the problem with this scenario for Classic is if there's enough Vikings, this can go very bad for you. Luckily for him, it's only one starport. But if you lose the Phoenix, you're so reliant on like just heavy Colossus Phoenix here, you really don't have anything else going for you. You're at about half the army supply. Massive push for BYUN. The numbers are staggering. Classic trying to hold on in their semifinals. He wants that spot in the finals. He knows it looks bleak. BYUN is going to set up a slow, methodical siege. And these tanks, 6 siege tanks. 70 damage with splash against the enemy armored units. Amazing ranged firepower from the Terran. And you can see the Vikings, the Marines, the Ghosts helping to cover them. Those Phoenix already taking a lot of damage. Trying to trade with the Vikings a little bit. Vikings 9 range, Phoenix 7 range. That's with the range upgrade. Oh, careful. BYUN not microing there. 2 of his Vikings run forward. Little sloppy. He loses 2 Vikings. Charge is not done. Tempests are coming out. Tempests, kind of good for breaking sieges like this, actually. If you knew your opponent's heavy on the tanks, maybe already having a few Tempests here could have been good. Ooh, dodges the EMP. Nice move there by Classic. First Tempest is going to come out. We're going to lose the Natural is the problem. Right, the Tempest can pick away, but they're very slow, low pace, right? Very low pace units here. Oh, Colossus defending pretty well right now. The Phoenix is going to pick up some units. The Colossus getting jumped on by the Mass Marine Marauder. BYUN taking one of the sloppiest engagements I have ever seen. He just stutter steps on top of his opponent's face. He just went full Sue, and it does not matter because he has the numbers advantage. And sometimes going full Sue is the way to win the game. Sometimes just grabbing your army and shoving it forward because he still gets the Nexus. As long as he gets rid of these Colossus, it's game over. Remember, he's on 4 bases behind this. There's so few units coming in. Killing this Nexus is massive. The Robo, the only Robo goes down. Even though that was a bad kind of, sloppy fight, I guess we can say for BYUN, if you look at the context of the game, it was good enough. And that's the thing, BYUN definitely forcing the issue maybe a little more than he needs to. He's very low on medevacs right now as well. He doesn't have much that shoots up. These Tempests just aren't a punishing unit, right? They're chipping away, picking off units one by one, but he needs more than one by one. That Nexus is going to go down. I'd love BYUN to click on that Nexus again. He's just going to pull back, though. BYUN's going to back away. There is an Observer seeing him retreat. Classic trying to retake a base on the far left side, as well as his own Natural. He's trying to build more Tempests. Now, I don't think you want to build a lot of Tempests, guys. A few Tempests is always nice to chip at your opponent, but you're going to need splash damage. Building the Robo, good idea. I think Psy Storm's, like I said, one of the best things to do. Problem, you're on 2 gateways with no Twilight Council. So Storm Transition is... Arduous is not a strong enough word. Guys, help me out. What's a word that's stronger than arduous? It is a painstaking transition. It is a grueling transition. When you at 14 minutes of the game have to start a Twilight Council and some gateways and then a Templar Archives, Storm Transition from here is rough. So he's trying to go back into Phoenix Robo with shield upgrades and +2 air weapons. Classic is fighting really well from behind, I gotta say. It's just one of those things where BYUN has 4 bases of workers. The income tab tells us a story. 1,000 extra minerals coming in a minute. 300 extra gas as well. I love this siege up. But if BYUN can shut this army down, it's lights out. USCVs go down. Tempest going to pick off a Marine or 2. Can he get one? Gets a Tempest. Nice. You can trade like 8 Marines per Tempest and still come out on top in this situation as BYUN. Vikings would be fantastic, but he's still only on 2 starports, and he's actually focusing on medevacs to heal his bio right now. He's going to try and threaten the counterattack on the right side just to lure those Tempests away from his central base. Phoenix getting a tank. Tank's going to start clearing the rocks on the right side as well. We need a transition here from Classic, and he can't afford it. He's trying to build batteries everywhere, but he's kind of stuck on this, like, air unit force. The tank goes down. More Marines getting picked off. BYUN snuck a drop by. This feels like the whole army. You're like, that's the whole army, right? No, 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 no. No, it is not. Oh, quad drop in the rear with the gear. BYUN drops half his army behind the Natural. The rest inside the main base. Forge and Robo both exposed. Plasma Shields gets denied at 80% complete. The Robo will survive. The Phoenix going after these units at the same time. BYUN does dive through the middle. Not sure if he caught any of the Tempests there. Looks like 3 Tempests have gone down. I think he got 2 Tempests in the middle at the same time while distracting with that army, guys. Very nice play by BYUN. He's attacking that left side with everything else. Medevacs are getting out. He gets 14 probes. Remember, he denied the shields upgrade, and now he dives in here as well. He's going to put Classic back to the initial 3 bases. a nasty spot to find yourself in. As BYUN has a 5th base up behind this. 3-3 on the way. The man is outscaling Classic at a ridiculous rate. 2,500 minerals a minute against 1,400. 800 gas coming in for Classic. That's the one thing that he's winning on right now is gas income. But his army, what is it? 4 Colossus, 3 Tempest, 15 Phoenix, 4 Sentries, plus 2 Air Weapons is about to kick in. Feels like he needs to counterattack. He needs to get some damage done. And to be fair, he has a pretty impressive army supply. He's also got Sentries for force fields that could hang on, assuming they avoid the EMPs. Tempests will try to pick off that missile turret as well as some of these SCVs. Phoenix coming down for the rally, catching a medevac or two. Nice moves. He's going to be able to pick up a few of these Marines and medevacs. I like this Phoenix use. This is actually kind of awesome how much damage Classic's doing with these. But of course, BYUN's answer, as always, is pick up army and drop on your face. You don't like it? Guess what? Get wrecked. Bio does not care. Gets one of the Colossus with an EMP stim focus fire. But the Colossus are actually kind of shredding this army. Wow, I can't believe the Marauders survived so long as that many Colossus. He gets a 2nd Colossus. There's just no basic units to support for Classic. There's no Marauder killers in his army. He doesn't have Charge Alerts, no Immortals, no Archons. Recalls 4 Colossus. They're shooting Marauders for like 20 seconds before they go down. Tempests were actually a very good transition, guys. Pig was totally wrong in that. I absolutely agree. You guys are right. Tempest, a few Tempests was good. I think he's overcommitted to the Tempests and the Phoenix here. Like, the Tempests actually worked out really well. I'm amazed by it. It is one of those things where if BYUN had split push rather than doing a single frontal tank push, might have been a different story. But because it was like a slow frontal push, that's where Tempests excel. That's where they're so good. Tempest Sentry. Uh-oh. The Vikings are here! Oh no, the Tempests! The Tempests are getting jumped on. The Phoenix trying to fly back to help, but they're a little bit too slow to the party. The Tempests are all gone. Even though you kill a lot of these Vikings, the Ghosts are there, the EMPs are there, and this is just a brutal start to the final game. I think BYUN's screwing around more than he should be, guys. I think there's no reason for him not to have Marines in there. Dropship up here, main army roaming the middle and breaking these rocks. I do think BYUN, I get against Phoenix, you don't want to split up too much. But I think at a certain point, we should be asserting dominance here. And I guess his macro is good enough on 5 base. He is rebuilding his work because he's got 3-3 against +1 on the ground. Now, the Marauders have 4 armor. The Colossus, I think it's going to be 2 times 13 damage against them, but -4, so it's 2 times 9. So the Colossus, each Colossus does 18 damage only per shot. That's kind of rough. I mean, kind of rough is a bit of an understatement. Let's be honest. Like, that's really bad. Yeah, +1 attack against +3 armor. Oh, and we're getting +3 air attack, but on the ground, Colossus is still a big part of this battle, and this like success story for Classic relies on those 5 Colossus. He's building a 6th one right now. He needs to maintain air dominance with the Phoenix, and the Colossus can clean up the ground. The question is, does pure Marauder just stim and win? Now, luckily for him, there's not that many Marauders. 17. There could be more. It's 44 Marines, 5 Ghosts. This Nexus trying to be built in the face. Dude, how is Classic back up on this supply? Is BYUN actually letting Classic back into this game? I can't possibly believe it. Viking does go down. Dude, Classic had one of the worst starts to a PvT I've seen in a long time. I almost felt the hype completely run out of me, but he is really giving me hope right now. He's turtling. BYUN's looking wasteful. BYUN's throwing units away. The units lost up 5,000 resources in favor. Problem is that BYUN just keeps macroing well. He's not freezing up. I can imagine a player in 2013 freezing up in BYUN's shoes, stopping their macro, and kind of losing 1 or 2 fights, and it's game over. Problem here is Classic needs to win like 4 or 5 fights to get back in this game, and that's good positioning, that is. Gets a massive probes and a Nexus down on the natural while threatening the front. And that's exactly what he's been needing to do for a while, right? The Marines and Ghosts are going to support here. The Tempest trying to pull back there, picking off those. But, oh, look at this. The Colossus go back. Remember, they can't do anything to these Marauders. They do no damage. Colossus does no damage to the Marauders, man. And the Marines can wreck those Phoenix. Marauders coming down on this side as well to clear cannons. And BYUN, he's got this one in the bag now. I think definitely Classic has showed a very different style. And historically, I remember BYUN was one of the players who really struggled with these sorts of kind of different Protosses that play an odd style he's not as used to playing against. But oh my gosh, look at that. Man does not care. 3-3 bio upgrades, masses of bases. He's got too much money. At the end of the day, you can do some fancy tricks with air units, but Classic was just too far behind. That early game was a disaster. And it all started with such a silly little mistake because he was not expecting the proxy. We understand why it happened, but letting that Reaper jump up, I think, was just such a nuisance. So much economic damage. And I really feel when the second Reaper came in to jump in, or third, I guess it was technically the third or fourth Reaper, that was a big issue. So he's here, he's like, yeah, about, 210, I got to be ready to block this, or maybe 215. And then it's like, nope, 208, he's already in there, and Classic's like, oh, what? Now, to be fair, he should have had his probe probably standing like here to get earlier vision of the Reaper rather than on the backside of the pylon location, but that is that. But the sealing the deal, because remember, this was 3 probe kills, right? And then he barely defends the depot, gets the Cyclone up, like all this trading's fine. But it was this Reaper heading back that shuts down Classic, because Classic's not leading into the all-in, the constant Stalker production I was talking about. So this gives BYUN 2 things. Number 1, he knows Classic doesn't have an expand. Number 2, he denies the expansion right on 400 minerals. So the expansion would have gone down by 330, probably 325. Instead, the Nexus ends up starting at 413. And he scouts the Stargate and the Phoenix. The Reapers really ruined Classic in this game. His early game put him miles behind. Really well played by BYUN. Gets through to the grand finals, and he'll be playing there up against MaxPax. GG, well played, BYUN.